5-star glazed chicken.
Ooh,
Five star. You gave yourself 5 stars. I
Just
assume.
5 ingredients on the glaze.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, 5, yeah. You didn't like
I'm
that.
the best.
Yeah, but please give me
she
5
is.
stars if you
Sure.
like. So the 5 stars of flavor right here: savory, miso, like soybean, rice. It's grounded up, it's fermented, it's funky, it's flavorful. It comes in various different shades of this earthy brown. They will consider this a red, even though it's more of a brown tone. But the darker, the more pungent, and the more fire the flavors. They just really hit your palate. So this is a little bit more mild. All right, so miso goes in.
I love it. It's so great, and it keeps in your fridge for up to 6 months, so it's a great little flavor bomb to have on hand in an instant.
Some sweet from some creamed honey.
Oh, you've been into that recently,
I
too?
love creamed honey, just even on a piece of dry toast in the morning. Really, really good. Swirl some into your yogurt. Some orange juice, so a little
Jay
sweet
gravy, here we
and
come.
tart. You know I play with orange juice all the time. It makes the quickest sauces and gravies. And then I'm gonna come in with some fire, some red chili flakes. A little bit more. And then way more pepper than you'd ever imagine. Nice large boulders, so I loosen up the top so those grind plates are far apart from each other, make bigger boulders of pepper. And that's it. So you're gonna get it back here outside on your grill, on the inside of the grill if you don't have one of these cool little sidecars right here, and just work it out until it starts to cook down to a really nice glazy consistency.
Tiny.
All right, so I've already got some to the side that's gonna be good for dipping. And I'm gonna use some of this to baste and the rest to marinate my chicken. So this is one whole chicken cut up. And then I like to take the chicken breasts and cut those halfway as well.
Yes,
It's just good for like summertime party. No one wants a big old breast. All right, so you're gonna put it in the bag, move it around so everything gets touched by the marinade. And this is gonna sit on the counter for 1 to 2 hours, no longer than that, because the orange juice does a lot of work. All right, so it's gonna look like this. And then the goal here is just get it out, pat it dry. The real reason you're patting it dry is you don't want to get on there and do a whole lot of drippy sizzling and splashing back. Plus, the caramelization does happen with less moisture. So just kind of get everything out. All that flavor is already soaked in. And then dry them off. All right. So this is an indirect, full indirect cook. Nothing about starting on direct and then going to indirect. What I mean by that is if you're doing like a coal grill, it's gonna be on the side where the coals aren't once you level them off. Or if you're doing like a gas grill, you're gonna heat up one side of the grill and then the other side is the indirect side. And I'm gonna go skin side down first. Nice little sizzle. The reason I go skin side down first is if you do it skin side up, it just curls weird. It's really nice to put it down first, and then it curls up towards the actual chicken flesh. Put that on there.
This marinade would also be really good on other meats. It'd be great on some pork.
Salmon as well. Grilled salmon would be great. I love a good side of grilled salmon. So just like if you're baking cookies, give them some space so they can aerate and stuff like that. And I've got the other babies over here I'm gonna brush up. Now you're gonna do 15 minutes skin side down, flip them over about 10 to 15 minutes.
Don't be stingy with that sauce.
You know? It's nice 3 layers of love.
I like it to be sticky and saucy.
I'm gonna marinate it in it. You're gonna do a little glaze over the top, and then I also serve it with it. I'm gonna close that just for the walk. You know what I'm saying? Just for the...
Oh, now we gotta wait more?
I mean, just let it set a little bit, you know what I mean? Just for the walk, you know? And then get it back out. Wings galore. 5 ingredients, 5 stars.
You gotta get this down to me. I want a bite.
And then I'll transfer them over here.
Oh, that's the piece I want, that breast, yeah.
Use a cleaver to hack your breast in half?
I do.
Yeah.
I have 2 favorite cleavers. How crazy of you to ask. I love a cleaver. If I can find anything that I can just hack pow, 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 pow. Plus, I love chopping with 2 cleavers. If you do like chopped chicken or barbecue in the summertime, you get 2 cleavers and just start going crazy.
I think you're starting to scare people.
Look how good this looks.
What would you like?
I think Katie is tasting.
Oh, yeah?
She gets whatever she wants except that piece.
Northwest Indiana style smash burger. Okay, I got approximately 6.4 ounces of ground chuck here. I put them into balls, all right? I kind of dried them out all afternoon here so we get that beautiful color to intensify and make sure we have a super caramelized crust, right? I got this neat little griddle contraption that I put directly on my gas grill. So I'm gonna hit this with a little bit of that just to create that polymerized, right? I love that word, polymerized coating here that makes it super nonstick. So you're gonna take in a ball, you're gonna put it on there. You hear that sizzle, it needs to sizzle instantly. We're gonna set it up, okay? Let that go for about 10, 15 seconds, kind of soften up the beef, create this kind of first layer, and then flip and smash. And this is what I like to do with the trowel or the spatula. Make sure you get a little bit of that fat on here too. Create that kind of nonstick property, right? Under. You can see it just seared the meat a little bit. You can hear that sizzle start to take place. Now it is time to smash it. So we're gonna smash. Oh man. And now we can start kind of compressing the edge a little more tapered and thinner than the middle. So it kind of flares out at the edge. And then you got that big kind of pub thickness, right? Like in a pub burger. We can smash with your tongs and a pretty wide spatula. Here we go. So you could just take it around the edge just like that. And now we season with some salt, some crushed black pepper, and a little bit of garlic, granulated garlic. And we're gonna let these go until they are just gorgeous, right? And there we go. You can see it start to look super dark, and that is where the flavor lies. And holy smokes. And that's what makes a Northwest Indiana style burger great. It's those flared, super lacy smashed edges that peek outside the bun. So I spread some softened butter on this just to give it a little extra flavor and crunch and color. And I'm gonna put these directly on there. Keep an eye on them, right? I try to keep a side of the griddle a little cooler for this moment. And our burgers are good to go. A little cheese on top. Lorenzo loves some American cheese. So I'm gonna give you that one that's plain Jane. I got, that's the bottom bun.
Oh, it's the bottom.
So this smash sauce is a little sauce I invented. It's got mayonnaise, chopped gherkins, Dijon, ketchup, sriracha, some granulated garlic, salt, and pepper. And we mixed it. Boom. You got yours. I got mine. I'm shutting down the heat. All right. Hey, should we cheers? Burgers for breakfast. Kind of. More brunch. But it can be your dinner any day of the week.
We're making a stuffed tomato, no mozzarella. We're gonna put some parm in there later. Sonny, would you help me build this herbalicious stuffing? We're gonna put spinach and arugula chopped up inside the stuffing. And I'm just gonna show you, I'm just gonna hollow out the tomato. You've gotta kind of go in there and detach that inner part if you really wanna get the tomato right, and then just hollow it out. Just scoop the insides out into the bowl.
Chef, you said just the spinach and the arugula, or do you want me to hit it? Okay.
I'm just scooping this out.
Alex, I'm so excited for this dish. I love stuffed tomatoes.
By the way, I love how hungry you are, Kate. I just want to say that when I go home and cook for my daughter, she stands there like a cat looking at a bowl of cream across the room.
I think Katie wants to say she's eating for 2. But let me just stop you on that, Katie, because I actually think you're eating for 3, because you already ate for 2. It's that you're just so healthy and you work out so much. No one knows, so just start saying you're eating for 3 now.
Oh, no, then people think I'm having twins.
Well, that's true. Right.
Jeffrey and Jeff are just sitting there like, this looks lovely, and you're like...
I can't, like, I love stuffed tomatoes, and I see chickpeas over there, so I've never had that, and I'm pumped. I just want you to know.
Yeah, I've never had that either. I feel like I've only had, like, rice and stuff, you know,
This is
bread
also
crumbs.
a great way. What you're doing is you're also using tomatoes that are technically out of season, but this is a great way to treat them.
Yeah.
So they.
She's putting honey on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, so
I like
here's,
that to go with the tart of the tomato.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Color.
with stuffed vegetables, I feel like we put all the flavor in the stuffing. We don't give any attention to the actual vessel we're stuffing in.
True.
So I just put salt, olive oil, and honey. I'm gonna bake these in the oven for about 5-6 minutes at 375, just to get them all juicy and good. That's the vessel. We're gonna eat that.
How far down do you want these chopped? Further?
No, that looks perfect.
Yeah? All right.
All right, I'm gonna put these in the oven. Let's bring out what they look like. The point of roasting them here is just to get some of that water out and just kind of get them nice and tender.
Sort of give up, right?
Yeah, they do, Geoffrey. They
give in.
up.
They give in,
They
Geoffrey.
give in.
up.
Yeah.
Those
They
things
give
are
up, too.
motivated.
And so with that, now we start to build the filling, which again, to kind of bolster the idea of the basil, I'm gonna just cook some scallions to give it like a little bit more of an herby note. Instead of onions, I wanted to go with an herby form of onion. Some cumin. Could you pick some basil for me?
Yes,
All of
girl.
that. Some ground cumin.
Basil is the hardest to grow for me.
It is?
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. I just feel like when it comes to
Sorry
this
to cut
time
you
when we're
off.
cooking all the herbs, I mean, I grow them outside and I can never get my basil right. It just starts to go to flower really fast.
Okay, you know what's funny about that is I grow basil and I want it to go to flower.
Same here, because it's beautiful. I mean, it turns into a plant, but then you can't eat it.
Then you
It just
can't eat it,
becomes
yeah.
so like
Oh, I
different.
love the flowering
flavor.
basil.
Did you put garlic in there?
No, I put a little bit of ground ginger, actually. I like a little bit of ginger with tomato. I think that kind of also kind of tells the basil to behave. So we've got the cumin, scallions, and a little bit of ginger, which I love. And then I don't like to waste.
Oh, that's gold.
So I'm gonna just put that in there. And as this cooks, just crush these little cores of tomato. You can also chop them if you want. I kind of like them a little bit big. I just hate to waste any of that. This is nose to tail cooking with basil and tomatoes.
Nose to
Stem
tail.
to root.
Okay, yeah.
Now, the other thing I love is to add a little bit of, just a splash of something to make sure it's kind of bright. I cannot make a whole plate of food without putting vinegar or lemon.
Need a little balance.
I even put vinegar in my apple pie filling.
No,
And I just
best.
A
Why
splash
not?
of apple cider vinegar in apple pie filling
Interesting.
is so good. So the basil, the other thing about basil is when to add it. I think it really doesn't, it takes to a tiny bit of heat, but it really doesn't need a lot.
No.
And so I'm gonna just literally add this at the last minute. The arugula and spinach that are expertly chopped.
Oh,
I
right,
might add.
because I'm not an expert. I'm a home cook, baby.
I know. But an expert home cook, and some chickpeas. Because if you really want to think about it, this is, it could be a side dish. It's really cute, could be a little lunch, could be something. You could just have them in the fridge for snacking, but it also is just, to me, could be a vegetarian entree.
For sure.
Oh, she said it. I knew you were building up to
sure.
it, girlfriend.
Did you feel it? Did
I
you
like
feel
it.
it pulsating in the
Yeah,
air?
yeah,
Is it
I felt
okay? And then literally, we just stuff.
Okay.
If you will help me, I put it
Oh,
right in
so
the
You
stuff.
could throw in some beautiful poached shrimp in there too if you wanted to.
I love you, Geoffrey.
No?
Well,
Oh, I love what you're doing.
we
at
add
that.
a little bit of basil to start because that's kind of the star of the show here. This is our herbalicious moment with basil. And also I like it to be kind of poking over the top. And that way when we start to stuff it, right at the last minute, we're gonna add the rest of this basil and just tear it with your hands. Because chopping it with a knife and everything else, you just literally bruise it. It gets browned, it gets grumpy and discolored. And here we go.
Put a tomato chunk into each tomato.
Yeah, put
know,
the tomato back in.
crevasse.
It's like, is it a crevasse?
I don't know. I wanted to be fancy and with an Iron Chef.
And then you see you can just press. You really want to press and stuff and make sure all this goes in here. Oh, I love that you're eating it see, that's the sign of something that you're gonna make and you're gonna wanna eat, is when, as you're cooking it,
That is delicious.
a little bit more and then,
Why are you even cooking it, girl?
well, you really could just stop right here.
Do you put the tops on? Is that what they're doing
A
there?
little bit after we put the hats on.
See, I get excited,
You
Alex.
should have some like
Oh,
chunks
sorry.
of sausage in there.
Yeah, well, that's where I would have gone.
Why do you, yeah, you could.
Sausage,
You
yeah,
could put
seriously.
spicy pork sausage in here.
Yeah.
You
And-
could put
and
ground beef.
croutons.
You could put ground beef.
It's very versatile, this recipe. Very versatile.
So this was in the oven at 375 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes.
The second time, right?
The second time, right. So you've got the oven at 375 and the whole thing takes about 20 minutes.
Gorge.
And it really molds down as it bakes, and then a little parm. If you wanted to be vegan, you could skip the
You can
cheese.
get some of that. No, you can get some of that vegan cheese.
Oh.
It's out there.
It's good. I've actually
I've had it.
and I'm down with
All
it.
get out.
And then, even though it's really just for show, that the hat, which kind of finishes it, excuse my hands, so you can put them on.
Oh, that's so
Come on.
adorable, Alex.
Joyous.
Come on. You want to give me a few basil leaves? Let's basil it up
Maybe
over
that,
here.
that basil flower you were speaking of, you could stick right in top there.
I love when the basil flowers. I love the seeds and the taste of the flowers. I use
just the
all of
flowers
it.
are great.
Yeah, I think it's really delicious. All right, Geoffrey. I'm coming in. I'm scared of your critique. I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna be like GZ. Hold on. It needs a little more herb.
Whoa.
It needs a little more salt.
Olive oil maybe on top
It
of that.
needs a little olive oil.
That's a Katie move right there. Out of that, in the
It needs
olive
a little
oil.
cheese.
That's a Katie moment.
Hold on, more
He
cheese.
does. And you gotta go back to the olive oil and then the salt and then more basil. He just
love
keeps
that you
going.
fuss.
Lids on those babies too.
I want a hat. All right, and then for you, even though I've used my hands the whole way,
Beautiful. Look at the black plate you chose too, even better.
I'm very Mediterranean. This is very avant-garde.
This is right
That is-
up my alley.
That is beautiful.
Am I supposed
Okay.
to try it? Oh,
Dig in.
What about our other guests? Here, come on.
Well, no, you take the first
Ladies
bite, buddy.
first.
You
You can
gotta.
even use a basil leaf to cover where the tomato
I
stem
love
was.
that.
To kind of
Look,
mimic
Can you
the,
see that? How beautiful that is?
the leaf of
We
where
just
the
for a second.
tomato was, the vine.
From
Beautiful.
whence it came.
Pass it down.
They're too busy
Oh
eating.
gosh,
Alex.
Alex, that's so good.
Crazy.
You know, the tomato just still has some weight to it. It still remains in a tomato versus a sauce, which is hard to do.
I love how juicy this is. I love the way you cut into it. I love when things are stuffed because I think people love a surprise.
Geoffrey, how good is that?
You could totally pre-make this.
It's a complete taste. And what I mean by that is that it is, you don't taste one thing, you taste the marriage of everything, and it's so luxurious. The mouthfeel is so different than all of them added up when they're raw. As well, the ginger is such a great surprise, and you use the basil like vermouth in a martini, just enough. This is delicious.
I'm making you something real good, a grilled seafood pasta, okay? So this is a recipe that's inspired by coastal Italian towns like Sorrento, where they serve these delicious fresh seafood pastas. So yummy. And to make my dish really authentic for you guys,
Authentico.
yes, I went shopping in a place that's as close to Italy as you can get in the US.
Arthur Avenue, New York City's Little Italy, where I went to find the freshest seafood for my grilled pasta with local chef Eleonora Scarpetta.
We like to use any kind of fish. There's no set rule.
So I'm starting with shrimp. Look for large pieces. It will add a sweet, plump bite. Scallops are great to add. They're mild and buttery and delicious when grilled. For mussels or clams, shop smaller ones. They're tender and release their flavorful juice right into the sauce. Salt-packed capers add a briny flavor that pairs perfectly with seafood.
One last thing,
Yes,
no cheese on seafood, right?
absolutely not.
We had a great time up on Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, which I like to say is New York City's other Little Italy. And there's so many great shops up there. I love to do my shopping, and I ate everything that I could. And now we're gonna make this seafood pasta. So this is a really simple recipe. It's gonna have so much flavor. GZ, can you help me out by getting some parsley out of the garden and chop
got
that
that.
up? And I've got those beautiful shrimp and scallops that I bought. And one of the keys to getting really good, you know, like that nice sear on your shrimp and scallops is to blot them dry with a paper towel. This is really important because you want as much moisture taken out of it as possible so that when it hits the grill, it's not just steaming the moisture off of it first, it's actually searing the protein. And I'm gonna hit it with a generous amount of salt. Don't be afraid to season. Oh yeah, my capers. Yeah, I got those salt-packed capers, but you can find them in the grocery store in a jar, and you gotta rinse them off first.
How do you guys feel about that culinary myth in Italy about the cheese and the seafood? Because it can work together.
Yeah, I don't have real
I agree
rules
with you.
like
I mean,
that.
there are parts of people in Sicily, depends on where you are, they actually add a little bit I think
I
it's
think
okay.
like a little pecorino or
Yeah.
Parmesan would not be
I think it
offensive.
depends on the
In a
dish
pasta.
and depends where you are.
Maybe shrimp.
Lobster mac and cheese.
Hello.
Hello.
But that's not Italian.
I mean, maybe like a whole thing.
Okay, I'm gonna put this right onto the grill, and these cook so quickly. It's really only about a minute or two on each side because they're gonna finish in the pasta.
Well, some say that the cheese overwhelms the pasta.
Yes.
Yeah,
So let's just put it out there as to
Well,
why.
it can.
Hey, okay, guys, let's pay attention in class.
Sorry.
All right,
Very
the
bad.
next step to making this pasta, I'm using a jarred sauce that is roasted garlic tomato sauce. So this adds a real extra depth of flavor by having that roasted garlic. So that's just gonna go straight into a pan that's on the grill. And now I'm gonna just add to this, since we're doing seafood, I like to put some lemon zest into the sauce.
Oh, yeah.
And then some of those capers that GZ chopped.
I think capers are my favorite thing in the
One, top 10,
fridge.
top 10.
Yeah, next to pickled jalapenos. Like in a jar to add a little extra something.
Catch
Lemon
really tasty
juice.
fish sauce.
And some fresh parsley. So those go in. All right, you give that a stir, and then those beautiful little clams that I got go right in.
Oh.
Now, you just need to close the grill and let that cook until the clams open up. GZ, can you grab some more parsley for me? Because I want to add some more at the
I
end
sure
to
will.
this, okay?
Let's go easy on the garden. We're really putting a dent in it today, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All right, so I've got some here that's already cooked for a little while. And those have opened up, and they release their own juices into the sauce, and it gives you this great extra little seafood flavor. I'm gonna flip my shrimp and my scallops. Those look so good. And by grilling it, you get this extra little smoky bit on there, which reminds me, I forgot to throw my lemon on the grill.
Oh,
I love to grill
That's
some
always
lemon
good.
for this. Yeah, let's get those on there.
Did you put anything on the lemon or just straight on the grill?
Just straight on the grill. I just throw it right on. And that's gonna give this extra smoky flavor. Okay, so this looks great. I'm gonna add to it some of my pasta water. So when you cook your pasta, always save that water because you've seasoned it with a lot of salt, so there's flavor in there, and also the starch from the pasta is gonna help bring the whole sauce together. Now I'm gonna add to this, GZ, some of those herbs, please. You wanna toss those in? I like a little extra herb at the end with the pasta. So I'm using about 12 ounces of linguine, cooked very al dente because it is gonna continue to cook here in the sauce. I'm gonna toss that in. Oh, it looks so good. This smells great. Let's give it a good toss. Here we go.
And it's so quick on the grill. It's
So fast.
Yeah.
And again, very little cleanup. That's why I love my summer grilling. Toss the whole thing together. And this is a way that you kind of feel like you're on vacation when you're at home. It's like a great little staycation moment. Okay, this is looking great. Smells good. Let's add a little touch of pepper to it.
boom.
And I'm gonna put one little last hit of salt. This looks great. I'm gonna toss it into a bowl over here.
Yeah, it smells great. Come over here, man.
All right, GZ, will you take the tongs and help me?
Yes.
I'm gonna hold this. And if you'll just
ready?
help me put it into the bowl.
Go.
Oh.
Go. Go.
Just got a hit.
Go.
Just hit me. What's up with tomato sauce? It splashes everywhere.
It does splash. You need
That's
to
why it's
wear
good
a
you do
bib.
it outside, though. Clean up outside.
And then I'm gonna grab from over here my
You get
lemons.
to taste.
Nice.
You get to taste sausage
lemon's
sandwiches. I
pretty.
get to taste this.
Yeah. Ooh, nice catch.
Okay, let's wipe this bowl down, make it look really nice. That looks beautiful. And then I'm gonna take these grilled lemons.
Oh, great idea,
Just
Katie. So good.
squeeze it right over. And that gives this nice, bright, smoky, lemony flavor right at the end. Oof. GZ, you want a bite of this?
You know, I've never
Boom.
finished a tomato sauce with a grilled lemon.
Me
That's
neither.
new for me.
Yeah, you know, I think whenever you're doing seafood, a hit of lemon's not a bad idea. And in that Sorrento region, lemons, you know, you see it everywhere.
A little scallop, Katie.
Yeah, you can have a little
at you.
scallop.
Order up,
And a good one.
And he actually calls it a scallop, not
Yeah,
a scallop.
I heard
so,
that,
Is
yeah.
that wrong?
Yeah,
No,
Wait, that's the
It just
fancy
sounds
way.
fancy.
You
Yeah.
said potato sauce.
is
How are you supposed to say it?
Easy. Nothing you do is wrong.
Well,
Trust
we've
that.
established that, but how do I say it?
Scallop.
Is it scallop? Seriously?
I think it's debatable.
I put the L in yolk. Who cares?
Y'all.
Just tell us what you think about the scallop.
I say February.
Jeff, I wish you could taste this.
Yeah?
Because the lemon is killing it. It is unbelievable. I just learned something. The lemon just softens everything and gives a nice pop to it. The seafood's cooked perfectly. The pasta is al dente. What can I say? I'm in Sorrento. Oh. Today I am making a cowboy steak on the grill, and this screams summer. And I so love this. When I do steak, this is what I cook because it feeds, I mean, it's gigantic. And I always get it about 2 inches. This is a ribeye on the bone. Really important to keep the bone on, simply because Katie loves the bone. But
I love
the bone, what the bone does is it helps it stay intact on the grill. Very important. So, a couple of things. The ribeye is very expensive, but this feeds 4 to 6 people. It's fine. It really is fine.
Unless you're feeding me.
Unless I'm feeding you. And so,
I would love to see you eat that whole steak, Katie.
She will, trust me. So,
You challenging me? No, I'm up for it.
I believe it. The skinny ones eat the most.
I love to eat my steak outside with a salad, but not just any salad. Watercress to me is one of those things that is sort of underappreciated. You see it, you walk by it. But in a long time ago, every steak used to come. You know, remember a big clump of watercress on it? I'm sort of taking that to another level, so
and
I need your help.
I like how the grease gets into the salad when it's on the plate.
I'm making a really delicious vinaigrette here with some shallots, mustard, red wine vinegar, salt, pepper, and a touch of anchovy paste, all right?
Oh, so, that adds so much
really
flavor.
good.
I love
so we
that.
have some watercress here. I want you to pick some more watercress.
Okay.
Slice through some radishes, a little bit of fresh tarragon, and we're going to dress that, all right?
Great. Well, my canines are watering. So
all right, so so what we've done for this steak, it's really important, everybody. Listen to these tips because it's the way to cook a proper steak. You want the steak medium rare from top to bottom. To get that, you have to pull the steak out of the refrigerator, let it come to room temperature at least 30 minutes before it hits that grill. All right, so what I've done overnight is I've salted it, both sides, put it on a rack, put it in the refrigerator, drying it out and uncovered so it really starts to season inside because there's a lot of steak here. I'm gonna season it slightly again, not too much because there's a lot of salt on there already. And this is a dry aged steak, which means we bought this 28-day aged. So that means the water has come out of it. Water equals weight. So you're actually buying a steak less heavy. So when you're paying a lot of money per pound, you're also getting more steak that's dried, less weight. So it's actually not as expensive as you think. But it's much tastier because the flavor is concentrated. So we're gonna rub this here, and then we're putting on a two-pronged attack to the grill. A very hot side, you're gonna talk about that later, and a not so hot side to cook it. So right now we're gonna take this steak, all rested, and just put it on the grill that's really hot. And after a while, it's gonna tell, when you go like this and it just comes up easy, it's ready to turn. It'll tell you. So the steak has 4 sides. 1, 2, very important. You must cook it on that side. That's the flap and the rib side. You need to cook it on that side. 3, and then 4. So we're gonna go through that process. And we've had this steak started right here. And this is ready to go to the indirect side. And we're gonna let it cook there. And how long should it cook? 125 degrees. Do not press it, touch it. Forget the thumb and all that stuff. Use this, the digital thermometer. I advise you not to use these. These are okay, but they're not accurate enough. So get a digital thermometer, very inexpensive, 125 degrees. Take it out and rest it. It'll be spectacular, I promise you. Sunny.
Yes. So GZ's got the grill set up perfectly for grilling a ribeye. Now we're gonna get into some really cool grill tips for you. Is it indirect or direct heat? If you take a look into the grill right now, what I've got is the wood, or you could do charcoal, the chips that you soak or whatever, to one side. Usually what you'll do is when you start this fire though, you start in the center with a pyramid, and then you move all of your action to one side. That's gonna be your direct heat. And then the side that has nothing on it, that's indirect. The perfect thing that you want to do on your direct heat side is stuff that cooks really fast or things that you want to get nice sears on. So your steak, you can start it over here, or like chicken with the skin side down on the direct heat, but then once it's got the color, move it over to the indirect heat so the inside of it cooks just as evenly as the outside. But whatever you do, just know where the hot spot is and where the cool spot is, because every once in a while we have a flare up, you got to move things over.
Love it.
Jeff, what's up with you over here?
All right, I am doing the direct method, right? Okay. So we had our mound of coals. We're gonna wait till they get totally covered in white ash. Then we spread them out in an even layer on the bottom here. That means you can cook your stuff hard and fast. You don't wanna slow cook anything on this because there's a lot of intense heat, as you can see. So this is perfect for getting that beautiful char on these burgers. Still juicy. You flip it when it's ready. You get that good caramelization. You can do those vegetables, like if you're doing zucchini or squash. I cut them in half. It's a lot easier to manipulate, a lot easier not to overcook. We got some beautiful asparagus with that char on there.
Get that one right
at
there,
that.
son. I saw one I wanted.
That's all right. You take that. It's hot, though. This is real what's happening. Of course, great for sausages, hot dogs. When I cook my dogs on the grill, always line them up right perpendicularly. And once they char, don't put them all over. Just roll them.
Nice.
Your hand, though?
Well, okay. You know what?
Don't
this is
burn
man.
yourself.
All right, so that's a nice little tip. Also, we have some skewered shallots here. We
Love.
cut them in half. Don't worry about removing the chaff. It keeps it all intact. And we're gonna use these in a little bit, right, G?
Yes, we are.
Look at that, beautiful
Look at
char.
that.
looks
Beautiful
That's the
color.
garnish
Really
for the
good.
steak.
Seasoned with a little bit of thyme, salt, and pepper. These will go great with that steak.
Yep.
Look at that, beautiful. And that's that color you're looking for. So that's the direct method, right? You wanna make sure you're keeping an eye on your food on this because there's some intense heat. This could get up to 700, 800 degrees. So
Wow.
keep that in mind.
Okay, I'm coming over. I'm coming over. Where do you want this?
Fantastic. Could you just take them off the skewer and
Yes.
arrange them right here?
Okay. Oh, off the skewer.
Well, you can
Hold
put,
on.
let's keep them on the skewer. They look
Let's keep 'em
beautiful.
on the skewer.
I'm
on the
already
side.
snacking on the radishes because I'm so hungry
Yes.
from smelling.
Katie, it's
steak.
coming
I
soon.
can't take it anymore.
Michelle is so good. It melts in your mouth. And it's not as powerful or raw tasting as an onion. And the seasoning of the thyme and the olive oil is just spot on. And I'm telling you.
I grilled those.
Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay, so we've taken the steak off the indirect heat, 125 degrees, right? It's rested up. It goes about 5 to 7 degrees with a 2-inch piece of meat. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the bone off first, a little steel first, and I am going to just take it down here. You just wanna go right along the bone.
Favorite cut of meat, right
And I
there.
put that back just for a second.
Yes,
Just for a
yes.
second.
Crisp it up,
And then watch this,
please.
very important. You want to cut against the grain and not in too small pieces. A lot of people take the steak and they slice it very thin, and that's just like not what this needs. You need to feel it. It has to have
lose the
mouthfeel.
mouth chew, yeah.
You lose everything. So
I'm hearing things, but not really hearing them because
She's waiting
I'm
for
just
the
thinking
phone.
about
just get ready.
Katie.
So when I tell you,
What's happening?
I'm going to have you mix that vinaigrette. But first, now see I've rested this, how well it's rested. It's not bleeding all over the board. Really important. So let's just take a look at this and just
let's
look
talk and slice.
how evenly it's cooked all the way through.
What do you do
Beautiful. Yeah,
if
baby.
that rests a real long time? What do you do with all those residual juices?
You can use them again, just warm them
Putting
up.
the salad dressing
Get
on.
out of
Yes.
Dodge Jeezy.
That's what we do. Okay, so hold on a second. We're just gonna take this here, maybe one little, oh, that looks
Look
good.
at that.
You help me out with that? The end piece. And look, hardly any juices that come off this. We're gonna take a little of this juice here.
Oh,
Just put it in the vinaigrette here.
That is all
Oh,
gravy.
yeah, baby.
All right,
All right, can I dress this
you
salad?
can dress the salad.
So that's a medium rare, right?
That's medium rare, but
Okay.
see, it's medium rare. If it's hold up a piece, it's medium
Yeah,
rare all the way
beautiful.
through.
Yep.
Nice and
It's not
gorgeous.
gray in the end, and you're just gonna put this here, toss it, and I suggest you taste this with your hands.
This is
Yeah.
perfect medium rare.
Can I just get in there?
Just-
Well, hold on a second, hold on a
What's
second.
happening? Is that what's happening?
Someone stole my rib.
What? No, wait, you're talking
Put that back there,
All
Where am I
right.
supposed to put it?
right on top. And there you go, Katie. Let's see what you think. Come on, come on. Oh. How about sea salt on that, maybe? Didn't need any salt?
Okay, this is so cooked to perfection.
Yeah, I heard.
The taste of the salty meat and then the vinaigrette here. This is unbelievable! I need some private time with the steak, so we'll be